Alright, this week we are going to learn some more about sweep arpeggios. This is our second sweep arpeggio lesson. If you haven't done the first one that I've put up, go ahead and go back and do that. It's the sweep arpeggio lesson primer. And we talked a little bit about how your right hand works. What we're doing today is we're going to take a few of the basic shapes that people tend to sweep on, and we are going to learn how to make them major or minor by altering one note. Now, without getting too far into the theory of all this, we have three notes that make up a major or a minor chord, and we call these triads, the three-note chords. We have the root, we have a note called the third, and a note called the fifth. What the third and the fifth come from is that that is the distance up from the root. If we're in, let's do this in G, if we go up a G major scale, G, A is the second note, B is the third note, C is the fourth note, D is the fifth note, E is the sixth note, F sharp is the seventh, and then G is back to the root. That's the octave. Now, we're not going to get into major scale theory, but the idea is that we're taking the first, third, and fifth notes out of that scale, and played together they make a G major chord. Like if you're playing your old major chord right there, that's just all. Actually, if I go through your open G chord here like this, we've got G, B, D, G, D, and G. Alright, so here's the deal. We have our first shape. If you use the cage system, this is your C shape, or pattern 1 if you use the Musicians Institute system of root patterns. And you're going to start with your pinky on the G, which is your root, on the 10th fret 5th string, 9th fret 4th string, 7th fret 3rd string, 8th fret 2nd string, 7th fret 1st string, and 10th fret. Now these are root, 3rd, 5th, root, 3rd, and 5th. Now if we want to make this is a G major chord, if we want to make it minor, all we have to do is lower the third note one fret, or what we call a half step. So we've got root, minor third, or lowered third, fifth, root, minor third, fifth. So you have, for the minor arpeggio, you have 10th fret 5th string, 8th fret 4th string, the 7th fret 3rd string, 8th fret 2nd string, 6th fret, and 10th fret on the 1st string. Alright, so you got major and minor. Now off the same root, with the next root pattern, which it would be almost like your A bar chord shape, or pattern 2, we're going to do major first, which is going to be 10th and 14th frets on the 5th string. And I'm using my middle finger. It's a bar, and it kind of rolls as we do this. So you've got 10, 14 on the 5th string, alright, and then 12 on the 3rd, 12 on the 4th, 12 on the 3rd, 12 on the 2nd string, and then 10 and 15 on the 1st. Now all these strings where I have two notes on one string, I'm doing a hammer on. So if you watch, I'll pull it back a little bit. I'm going hammer with the one pick stroke, and then pick, play that note, and then when I'm coming back up, I'm picking and doing a pull off. Alright, so that's the major chord shape. We have root, third, fifth, root, third, fifth, root. So in order to make it minor, we lower the thirds. So we have root, 10 and 13 on the 5th string, 12, 12, and then on the second string we alter the note down to the 11th fret, that's your third, and then 10 and 15. So I have major and minor. And as if I'm doing like a bar with a sweep, I'm not just barring it and letting the notes ring together. Alright, what I'm doing is, and we'll get a little closer this way without making you seasick. You see how I'm kind of rolling the joint there? It gives everything a lot more definition and clarity. Alright, so that's the two root patterns we're going to do off the root on the 5th string. Now on the 6th string, these are not, I don't play these too often, but it's real good to know them. You might find a use. I've actually seen some people use this big minor one that we're going to do here in a second. The major one is kind of a hassle, but we're gonna learn that. And part of it is just so you're learning your chord tones for other stuff too. We're going to start with your pinky on the 12th fret. We're going to do this one in E, and you've got the 12th fret on the 6th string, 11th fret on the 5th, and then on the 9th fret you've got the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd strings, and then 7 and then 12. That's a pretty wide stretch, but if you can get it, it works real well. Now the one thing about a stretch like this is that you see where the bulk of my hand is? Make the reach here. Don't go like this and try and reach with the pinky. It's going to be too short. I don't care how big your hands are. If you kind of have the hand brought around like this, instead of like this, which is how a lot of people play, especially if you're used to bending all the time, if you rotate the hand around, you get more reach. And then if you try and make the stretch here, you know, you're pointing down the fretboard, you get all kinds of stretch. I can go from the, not that it's the most practical thing to do, but from the 5th to the 12th fret with no problem. Alright, so our arpeggio here for major is root, 3rd, 5th, root, 3rd, 5th, root, or 12 on the 6th string, 11 on the 5th string, 9, 9, 9 on the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd strings, and then 7 and 12 on the 1st string. To make it minor, we lower the 3rd. So it's going to be 12, sorry, 12, 10 on the 5th string, 9 on the 4th string. And then we're going to have to make a position shift back. So your 3rd finger is going to hit the root or the 9th fret on the 3rd string. 2nd finger on the 2nd string, 8th fret, which is your minor 3rd, where we just lowered it, and then 7 and 12. That one's kind of tricky to get the position shift happening, but once you get it, it's pretty cool. Alright, now the last one we're going to do for today is going to be based off of like your regular old E shape bar chord or pattern 4. And we're doing it all the way up here at the 12th fret just to kind of keep it consistent, so you can kind of see where you've got that and then that here. Alright, so we've got 12 and 16 on the 1st string with the hammer on. And then on the 5th string we've got 14, 4th string 14, 13 on the 3rd string, and then 12 on the 2nd, 12 on the 1st, and then 16 on the 1st. And once again you got your hammer-ons. Any place that you've got 2 notes on a string, or in this case as I go up, when I come back, just like with all these, I'm doing a pull off. And then to make it minor, we lower the 3rd. So we've got root, 3rd, 5th, root, 3rd, 5th, root, 3rd. So we'll have 15, or 12 and 15 on the 6th string, 14 on the 5th string, 14 on the 4th string, and then 12, 12, 12 on 3, 2, and 1, and then 15 on the 1st string.